Prince Caspian and his tutor had many more secret conversations on the top of the great tower, and at each conversation Caspian learned more about old Narnia, so that thinking and dreaming about the old days and longing that they might come back filled nearly all his spare hours. But of course he had not many hours to spare, for now his education was beginning in earnest. He learned sword fighting and riding, swimming and diving, how to shoot with the bow, how to hunt the stag, and of course he had to learn all about law, the arts and sciences. He also learned a great deal by using his own eyes and ears. As a little boy, he often wondered why he disliked his aunt, Queen Prunaprismia. He now saw that it was because she disliked him. He also began to see that Narnia was an unhappy country. The taxes were high, and the laws were stern, and Miraz was a cruel man. Then there came a time when the Queen seemed to be ill, and there was a great deal of bustle and bother about her in the castle, and doctors came and courtiers whispered. This was in early summertime, and one night, while all this fuss was going on...
Prince Caspian, get up!
Oh, are we going to do a little astronomy, Doctor?
Shh, look, trust me and do exactly as I tell you. Put on all your clothes. You have a long journey before you.
Yes, sir.
I have a satchel for you. We must go into the next room and fill it with victuals from your Highness's supper table.
My gentlemen in waiting are there.
They're fast asleep and will not wake. I may be a very minor magician, but I can at least contrive a charmed sleep. Now, come quickly. Have you your sword?
Yes.
Then put this mantle over all to hide the sword and the satchel once we've filled it. Then we must go to the great tower and talk.
Now tell me, Dr. Cornelius, what's this all about?
Dear Prince, you must leave this castle at once and go to seek your fortune in the wide world. Your life is in danger here.
Why?
Because you are the true king of Narnia.
What?
Caspian the 10th, the true son and heir of Caspian the 9th. Oh, long live your majesty.
Oh, no, please, get up, Dr. Cornelius. What does it all mean? I don't understand.
I wonder you have never asked me before why, being the son of King Caspian, you were not King Caspian yourself. Everyone except your majesty knows that Miraz is a usurper. When he first began to rule, he didn't even pretend to be king. He called himself Lord Protector. But then your royal mother died, the good queen and the only Telmarine who was ever kind to me. And then one by one, all the great lords who had known your father died or disappeared. And not by accident either. Miraz weeded them out. Some were shot during hunting parties, by chance, it was all pretended. Some were killed in battle. Some were executed for treason on a false charge. And 7 of the noble lords, who alone among the Telmarines did not fear the sea, Miraz persuaded to sail away and look for new lands beyond the Eastern Ocean. As intended, they never came back. And when there was no one left who could speak a word for you, then his flatterers begged him to become king, and of course he did.
Do you mean he wants to kill me too?
That is almost certain.
But why now? I mean, why didn't he do it a long time ago if he wanted to? And what harm have I done him?
He has changed his mind about you because of something that happened only 2 hours ago. The Queen has had a son.
I don't see what that's got to do with it.
Have all my lessons in history and politics taught you no more than that? Listen, as long as he had no children of his own, he was willing enough that you should be king after he died. Now that he has a son of his own, he will want his own son to be the next king. You are in the way.
Would he really murder me?
He murdered your father.
Oh.
There is no time to tell you the story now. You must fly at once.
But you'll come with me?
I dare not.
It would make your danger greater.
2 are more easily tracked than 1. Oh, dear Prince, dear King Caspian, you must be very brave.
You must go alone and at once. Try to get across the southern border to the court of King Nain in Archenland. He will be good to you.
Shall I never see you again?
I hope so, dear King. What friend have I in the wide world except your majesty? I have a little magic. But in the meantime, speed is everything. And here are 2 gifts before you go. This is a little purse of gold. Alas, all the treasure in this castle shall be your own by rights. And here is something far better.
A horn?
This is the greatest and most sacred treasure of Narnia. Many terrors I endured, many spells did I utter to find it when I was still young. It is the magic horn of Queen Susan herself, which she left behind her when she vanished from Narnia at the end of the Golden Age. It is said that whoever blows it shall have strange help. No one can say how strange. It may have the power to call Queen Lucy and King Edmund and Queen Susan and High King Peter back from the past, and they will set all to rights. It may be that it will call up Aslan himself.
Aslan.
Take it, King Caspian, but do not use it except at your greatest need. And now, haste, haste. The little door at the bottom of the tower is unlocked. It leads into the garden. There we must part.
Can I get my horse, Destria?
He's already saddled and waiting for you at the corner of the orchard. Now go.
During the long climb down the winding staircase, Cornelius whispered many more words of direction and advice. Caspian's heart was sinking, but he tried to take it all in. Then came the fresh air in the garden, a fervent handclasp with the doctor, a run across the lawn, a welcome whinny from Destria, and so King Caspian X left the castle of his fathers. Looking back, he saw fireworks going up to celebrate the birth of the new prince.
Oh, poor Prince Caspian. It must have been awful for him to have to run away like that.
Oh, it was. All night he rode southward. When day came, he looked about him and saw on every side unknown woods, wild heaths and blue mountains. He thought how large and strange the world was and felt frightened and small. As soon as it was full daylight, he found an open grassy place amid a wood where he could rest. It was late afternoon when he awoke. He ate a morsel and continued his journey still southward by many unfrequented lanes. He was now in a land of hills going up and down, but always more up than down. The mountains grew bigger and blacker ahead. As evening closed in, he was riding the lower slopes. The wind rose. Soon rain fell in torrents. Destria became uneasy. There was thunder in the air, and now they entered a dark and seemingly endless pine forest. All the stories Caspian had ever heard of trees being unfriendly to man crowded into his mind. The wind became a tempest. The woods roared and creaked all around them. There came a crash. A tree fell right across the road just behind them.
Quiet, Destria, quiet. It's all right.
Lightning flashed, and a great crack of thunder seemed to break the sky in two. Destria bolted. Caspian was a good rider, but he hadn't the strength to hold him back. It was a wild ride. Tree after tree rose up before them in the dusk and was only just avoided. Then, almost too suddenly to hurt, and yet it did hurt him, something struck Caspian on the forehead, and he knew no more.